Live League Game of the Day. Featuring BestMike as Hawk versus Azuryle as Sasha.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Semi-Original Guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another Live League Game of the Day. Today, folks, we are playing on a map called Electromagnetic. This is a triple base airport Comm tower supported matchup with a whole bunch of fog. We got a fog of war game here, folks. Today we got Azuryle and BestMike as our players today, playing as Sasha and playing as Hawk. And I have super enlarged their names so that you can bask in the glory of these wonderful, wonderful avatar photos. Absolutely peak art right here, folks. That's what we got. Now, BestMike, Azuryle. What do we know about him, folks? What do we know about him? Well, what we know is that we know things, and that's about it. Alrighty, folks. So, if we take a look at this map, as we can see here, we do have two bases versus one base right here. So this would be considered your strong side. This would be considered your weak side over here, despite the fact that it does have access to an airport. More likely than not, usually two vehicles will often trump a base plus airport, but that is debatable over time. Now, either way, so what we have here is a scenario where vehicles actually have to go up and over and get into the center here, folks. So there's going to be a lot of fighting in the center of this map, without a doubt. But you cannot shy on the fact that you have to get down here, defend your HQ, cap a comm tower, maybe grab one of these properties over here, contest the heck out of these properties, maybe set up some artillery defenses with some tank warfare. And yeah, that's about it, folks. I mean, up north here, obviously, you have a clear shot over here. Clearly, your vehicles are just going to be going right over these mountains. There's absolutely no reason why they wouldn't be able to. And aside from that, this guy's going to go over here. You got a pretty good shot over here into the center. But the one thing that is going to make this map sort of difficult in the long run here is probably this section right here, because these are C tiles over here, folks. And it is pretty difficult to move around C tiles because, you know, land units, they can go over mountains, but they can't go over C tiles as long as you have feet. And yes, here is the dragon that lives in every single ocean map in Advanced Wars by Web. Yeah, you do have to watch out for this guy because there is a 1 in 1 million chance that it will be able to sink your battleship. So you got to watch out for that, folks. But more likely than not, it's going to be difficult to attack this area because this is incredibly choke pointy over here. The only way you can really get through this is through the bridge. And yes, that is something that's going on for sure. Now, the other thing is, like, you can obviously go up here, and it's a little bit better to attack up here. But once again, folks, choke point city right here and right here. So, yes, it will be incredibly difficult to basically get past this line here. But if you can win the entire center of the map here, folks, you don't really have to worry about pushing too much because you're just going to be winning the game. Now, without any further ado, folks, let's go ahead and see what went down in the Live League today. Is this an omen to Blue Moon winning this match, folks? I have absolutely no idea, but I do enjoy some good Olaf music. It is grown on me over the years. I remember being a young semi-original guy before the title even came to me, thinking to myself back in the day, oh, Olaf's music is so lame. It's not cool at all. But then as I got older, I started to appreciate it more. I started to realize the emotion behind it. The march The pride. That's what it's all about, folks. It's all about, this is a march to victory for one of these two players. And the thing that goes along with marches to victory, folks, obviously your standard infantry builds, because you got to get the infantry on the field, folks. It's the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, folks. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for all that hot live league action. Alrighty. The other thing that I didn't mention is obviously we do have access to a black boat on this map. You won't really be able to do too much with the black boat. You will be able to funnel some infantry a little bit farther than they would normally go. So in the early days, I would say that it's fairly advantageous. Mostly because you can funnel them to either this corner right here or this corner right here and be able to immediately get to the center, or immediately jump to this property, immediately be able to interrupt this property, or maybe even be able to grab this property quickly. So these are possibilities, folks. These are within the realm of possibility for a map like this. So let's go ahead and see if these players go for it. We can see here BestMike. He is probably the best Mike in Advanced Wars by Web, folks. There's absolutely no question about that. There's no Mike that is more best than BestMike. Azuryle, the best player with that name, folks. Absolutely. Absolutely strong, folks. Strong folk indeed, folks. All right, we got a recon on the field. A wonderful reconnaissance unit. Let's see what this guy manages to get done, folks. Now, the one thing that is very, very nice about this is the recon is going to be able to move immediately 6 spaces. Right off the get-go here, right off the bat. So that's going to be cool. He's going to be able to get that movement. Let's go ahead and see it happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was that 7? 1, 2. Was that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. All right. Well, I miscalculated that, but either way, no, it doesn't really matter too much. 7 movements, still pretty good. It's not 8 movements, so he's not going to be able to see that cap in infantry. Maybe. I always wonder this, folks. I always wonder how in-depth map makers really go with these maps. It's like, is that intentional? Is it intentional that a recon would be able to go 7 movements, but just be just shy of being able to see the city? I don't know. But if they go that far into it, folks, you gotta hand it to the map makers, because they are making maps and they are mapping it out, mapping every day for our enjoyment. And that's what it's all about, folks. All right, day 5. Sasha is going to be capping some properties, and all of a sudden, what is going on here? We have lost our portraits. There's something not going right here, folks. So we are going to be right back in just a jiffy.
A few moments later.
All right, here we go, folks. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened there. That was very strange. But we don't want to be losing our portraits. That is for sure. That is for sure. I don't even know if those were gone from the start, but either way. Scary. It's honestly some scary stuff. All right, let's continue on with the map. Holy macaroni and cheese, man. This guy, this recon, he's living his best life over here, folks. He is rushing out. He just spotted a threat. And what a threat it was. Now, BestMike, he sees this, and he's like, well, ain't this a coincidence? Because I also have a recon of my own, but my recon is not quite that far yet, and I have absolutely nothing in order to counter this recon, so there's really only one course of action for my infantry, and that's to, well, there's 2 course of actions. You can either, 3 course of actions, actually. You can either keep it put and eat the attack, then get the heal. You can retreat into one of the forests, or you can go and cap a city. So let's see what he decides to do. Boom, he's going to cap a city. This man has no fear. He has absolutely no fear. He's the best Mike in the world. Alrighty, folks. The tanks are moving in. Tank is almost in the middle of the map. What a tank. What a tank indeed. And I think that's a great spot. Ooh, just shy. Just shy. So it goes for the interrupt. Obviously, you want to be going for the interrupts, folks. If you're not interrupting, well, then you're not living your best life. And I would suggest to live your best life, folks, because life is short. Unfortunately, it does not last forever. And too much of us have unfinished business. And it's just best that, you know, if you got that business, you just go ahead and you finish it. Because you never know. You never know when you're going to be out of time. Just like this recon. And this recon goes up and he attacks it. Because if he doesn't attack it now, he might not get another chance. So he's going to deny that income, folks. That's what it's all about. Denying income, capping comm towers. Infantry moving forward, getting some of those contested properties in the recon retreats. And that's a perfect move for the recon because you want to be retreating your recons when they're injured, because an injured recon is still very important. Fog of war, folks. Still going to be able to see just as far as it would normally see. And that is base. That is absolutely base. Nothing more base than a recon being able to see as far as it can go. Now, I think in the last video, I did actually refer to recons as annoying, almost as annoying as a fly landing on your forehead when you're sleeping or trying to sleep. And I do stand by that statement, folks. I do stand by it. Recons are super annoying. But a recon working for you is a lot less annoying than a recon working against you. So I think the moral of the story is make sure to hire a bunch of flies in order to swarm your enemies and cause massive annoyance. That's really what it's all about, folks. Train swarms of flies to attack your enemies. And it's now day 8. BestMike moves the recons. We are finally getting to the point where we are starting to acquire many properties. We almost have all the properties like acquired now. There's just a few kind of stragglers sitting around, you know. Nothing really out of the ordinary. I do really feel bad for BestMike right here, though. BestMike, you know, he was living his BestMike life. And he went up and he went to go and begin capture on a city. And he thought it was completely clean, completely clear. Unfortunately for him, there's one of those pesky, little annoying recons there, plus backup infantry. So that infantry is not going to be surviving today, folks. Hopefully he didn't have any unfinished business. But he probably did. And his unfinished business was capping that property. So hopefully one of his friends will be able to finish his business at some point, and we will see what happens. But as you can see here, Sasha now getting some use out of that black boat, folks. She's getting that movement bonus, and that's what it's all about. Now it is a 17 to 16 property game right now. Azuryle only has 16 properties, while BestMike has 17. But Azuryle has a comm tower, about to get a second comm tower. So this is a 2 comm tower map also, by the way, folks. And that is pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, obviously, 2 comm towers. What that means is you are able to get the guaranteed 2-hit KO when attacking a similar unit on a city at full HP with 2 units. Obviously, in BestMike's case here, he's only got 110% firepower. So he's unable to get the KO because he hasn't capped either of the comm towers yet, which is unfortunate. But that's just the way it goes, folks. That's the way it goes. But Azuryle's got a very nice unit composition right now. Busting out the anti-air, multiple tanks on the field, multiple battlecopters on the field. So let's see how that works out for them. Ooh, gonna be interrupting that comm tower. Yeah, don't want to be allowing a Sasha to have 120% firepower because that is a little bit too strong of a Sasha to be dealing with long term, folks. You don't want to be having that. Boom, Recon also doesn't want to be having that infantry around. That is 100% guaranteed. Tank moving up, taking the engagement. Boom, gets the clear. And more infantry are moving forward. Battlecopter going south now. Very interesting. Going for the old double tap. Once again, gets the double tap. And now the anti-air is moving in position. And this is a very dangerous situation now. So despite the fact that Azuryle is actually behind overall in income, they're about to cap a few properties here, which is going to be very strong. But they are also just sniping units off of the field, left, right, and center, folks. Very strong, very strong. Now, income is super important in Advanced Wars, but so are units. And if you're a lower income but have a metric buttload of units over your opponent, I would still consider you in a winning position, folks. Because income is great, but if you have no units to defend your income, well, it's just going to fall to your opponent eventually. Now, we have a situation here where BestMike has 21 units, Azuryle has 29. So that's an 8-unit deficit. So let's see if BestMike can manage to snipe some units off of the map here and be able to close that gap. Because he's definitely going to be needing to do that, folks. Double taps to infantry up north. Very nice. Destroys the recon. There we go, folks. And now he's going for the comm tower. Going for both comm towers on the exact same turn, which is very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this man. Look at this man. He's thinking I think he might be cooking a little bit too hard here, folks. He is moving in. He's moving in. I don't actually know if Azuryle is a he or not, so I apologize. But Sasha is moving in here, folks. She is going in and going in hard. Absolutely destroying everything on the map here. But the unfortunate thing about this entire situation is a little thing in Fog of War called overextension. Now, overextension works in standard and high funds as well. But in Fog of War, it means even more because you don't know what your opponent has. For all you know, maybe Hawk's got all his army up north. But that's not the case. That is not the case right now. So maybe Hawk is going to be able to get a decent counter attack here, but doesn't really have too much in order to do so. Does have an attack on a battlecopter. This guy's going to be going down though. So in general, I wouldn't say this is too much of an overextension. But yeah, you do got to watch out for overextensions in Advanced by Web because they definitely will get you. They will get you. And you got to watch out. Now, BestMike, I think BestMike is doing a pretty good turn here. All things considered, using the information that he has to make the best choices that he can possibly do. Does manage to KO the copter though, which is wonderful. That's what you got to do. You don't want to leave your copter hanging and not destroy the enemy copter. And Sasha also interrupts the comm tower capture down south, which is absolutely wild. So this is going to only be a 120% firepower Hawk instead of a 130% firepower Hawk, which could be very difficult to deal with. But the other thing that's difficult to deal with is Sasha just in general, folks, from that power usage. Eliminates the entire enemy power bar. Okay, this might be a little bit too much of a push, but I don't know. You know what? There's a lot of backup here. There is a lot of backup. There's at least 2 tanks immediately right here and here in order to back this push up. So I don't know. Maybe BestMike might go in for this attack. Maybe he's not. But either way, I think Azuryle's playing this pretty much how you're supposed to. You got to be pushing with that strong side versus that weak side. You got to be eliminating it. You got to put the pressure there. You got to get that HQ. That HQ, the HQ for BestMike right now, that's under threat. That is an immediate threat right now, and he's got to do something. He's got to do something about it, folks. If he doesn't do anything about it, it's gonna get capped. And if it gets capped, that's an automatic loss. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of you all know the rules of Advanced Wars. But for those of you that don't, if your HQ gets captured, that is an automatic loss, an automatic win for your opponent. All right. So it appears that both players are getting the comm towers that I did not expect them to get. They're both getting the top and bottom comm towers. Pretty much Azuryle at the moment has 0 issue getting the bottom comm tower. Now that's just gonna happen. That's gonna happen because BestMike, he's dealing with the attack up or in the center of the map. Okay, see this. See, that's what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about. This danger territory over here. This is one of the most dangerous territories in Advanced Wars by Web right now. Oh my god. Azuryle. This person is cooking over here. Absolutely. He's got an infantry in position right now to cap that HQ. Danger territory. Oh my god, and both tanks went up for the anti-air. Ooh, that's extra dangerous. Oh, you know what? But the one of the big issues here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no blocker for the top. There's no blocker for the top. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, yep, no. There's no blocker. Unfortunately, if Azuryle was like a square farther than what they are right now, they could have potentially actually capped this comm tower, and there might have been absolutely nothing the BestMike could do about it. But I don't know. Maybe it's possible, maybe it's not. I'm not going to go into speculation land over here, but it looks pretty good to me, you know, all things considered. It's got a flipping APC. Holy macaroni and cheese, man. This man's buying an APC when his HQ is under massive threat. Now, he doesn't exactly know the extent of the danger of the push right now, but yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Cap that comm tower, cap that city. got ourselves a 20-20 game right now. 2 comm towers each. This is dead even. This is a dead even game. Oh, Azuryle. Perfect. Absolute perfection right now. Realizes that there is absolutely no chance of being able to go up and get that HQ right now. Does not go for the push. Doesn't go for the push. And that's beautiful. That's actually legit exactly what you need to do in that situation. You cannot go up and do that because this is what would happen. BestMike would just move his entire army over to the HQ. Now, unfortunately for Sasha, BestMike did see the push coming because the recon went to move on the HQ, which was the correct move. You want to be doing that. You want to be protecting yourself. But now there's a 0% chance of actually getting this HQ. So we're back to brawling, folks. We are back to brawling. There's absolutely no threat down here. Now, obviously, up north, there's a lot of stuff going on, folks, that I've been kind of neglecting. Because I've been paying attention to this little section of the map right here. There's been a lot of fighting going on. There's obviously been some fighting going on over here. It's basically a mirrored effort. But because Azuryle did not move the black boat off of the HQ, there's almost no threat. There's virtually no threat of an HQ cap over here. So all Azuryle has to do is just keep pumping out units and just defend this line right here. Like, just defend that section and then focus on attacking over here. That's basically what they're going to be doing here. So, all things considered, looking pretty good for them. All right. The old double tap arena. Going up to attack the artillery. Going up to get the capture. Doesn't attack. Oh, that's not a very great... Ooh. Oof. I don't know about this one, folks. You know what? I'm not like too big of a... I'm not too happy with that for poor Azuryle. Now, unfortunately, like, this could have been maybe okay, but they didn't do enough damage. And this line... Like, okay, so when you're going in for an all-in HQ push situation, what you really want to be trying to do is make it so your opponent cannot stop this push. Now, unfortunately, this push right here can be stopped multiple ways. Now, obviously, the first thing is just simply artillery to infantry, take that engagement, and pew-pew, it's all over. Now, the other thing is there is... Probably this right here will just clear this, and then you got 2 tanks to attack this. So those guys attack here. Then you got tank to attack this one. You take out both of these tanks, then you got battlecopter moving in. Probably attack this. That might get you a clear with the artillery plus this, so that's a possibility. And all of a sudden, like, all 3 of these guys are gone, and then maybe... If you're lucky, this guy might even be able to go in and attack this tank, so that could be pretty good. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I can see BestMike doing a lot of damage this turn. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. All right, not going to attack the tank or the infantry, so that's okay. All right, so he's going for the easy moves here. Easy moves. All right. Oh, that could have been dangerous. That could have been dangerous. Obviously, there's a way to clear it with the recon. Absolutely perfection. But that could have been pretty dangerous. It could have been. Could have been, but it wasn't. All right. What's going on up north here? All right, just pull him back. Pull him back. Get out of there. No reason to keep pushing. Pull back. Reinforce. Get her done another day. All right, Sasha, day 16. There is join cap potential here on the HQ. Plus, you would also have the extra defense from the power usage. But I don't think that there's much else that's really going to occur with this. Now, unfortunately, maybe if there was another anti-air, this could have been okay. But the problem is, like, there's still that artillery. So the artillery is like an absolute security blanket over here. So that's gonna prevent like the HQ from ever getting capped. So yeah, just retreat. Ah, bleh. What's that smell? He builds the soiled abomination, folks. Making me edit more. The soiled abomination has entered the battlefield, stenching up the place. I wonder if BestMike can smell it already. I don't know. I don't know if he smells it yet, folks. But there's something in the air. And it's vile. Absolutely vile. Now, obviously, Neo Tank, pretty strong. You know, it's going to be able to go over here, do a lot of damage. But is it necessary? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty fast. Day 17, folks. Let's see what happens here. Eliminate the vision. Get the vision out of here. We can't really be pushing up, though. No, we're not going to be pushing up. Can't be pushing up. Got to wait for the soiled abomination to get to the front lines before we decide to push up. But I love the use of the mechs over here. The mechs are definitely coming in clutch up north, being able to slow down BestMike's push. But now BestMike, he's got the artillery on the field. It's almost in the front lines here. It's going to be able to start picking away at that black boat. So once the black boat is gone, then you got some real problems. And BestMike is just pushing. Doesn't even want the HQ to be anywhere close to under threat. He's going for it. He's pushing. Beautiful. Builds the classiest unit in Advanced by the way, folks. The classy medium tank is on the field, ready to go. Alrighty then. Let's see what he manages to do with that. Whoa. Doesn't get the recon clear. Sacrifices the infantry in order to injure BestMike's infantry. Definitely worthwhile, folks. Definitely worthwhile. Alright. Uses the power. Pulls back. Doesn't spend any money before he uses the power. So absolutely wonderful. Peak gameplay right there. 14 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock for Azuryle actually at the moment too, which is very good. Very good. BestMike, he's sitting at 18 properties, folks. Sitting at 18 properties. But he's sitting at 33 units. Which is kind of wild. So all things considered, like he's not that far behind when it comes to overall unit value, and he's ahead in unit count, but he's behind in properties right now. Technically, Azuryle has 21 properties and BestMike has 18. So BestMike has to get a few properties right now, or within the next several days. But it's got to happen, folks. It absolutely needs to happen. And I think it might. I think it's probably... there's definitely some strong possibility that it's going to happen. Because these battle copters, they're moving up. And we got the APC on the field, folks. So, it's action-packed combat over here. That's what we got. We got action-packed combat going on. We got the flipping artillery in a position right now where I can start firing on the black boat. And we got a base skip. We got a flipping base skip over here, folks. Base skip meta. Let's flipping go. All right, how does Azuryle counter what just occurred? Moves up, attacks, double attacks, just eliminates the flipping artillery, takes it out of existence, takes it out of the game in one shot. Soiled abomination attack over here, and the power usage with 24,900 funds to play with. What in the heck is Azuryle going to buy here? Because they can buy pretty much anything right now except for the mega tank. What are they going to buy? A battlecopter, a tank, and an infantry. Okay, not what I was expecting, but perfectly fine. You got to be spreading out that DPS, folks. You got to be spreading DPS like butter all over the game. All right. This 130% firepower is just absolutely causing massive damage over here from BestMike. The entire north just took a massive attack. The infantry are taking out battlecopters. Injured battlecopters being taken out. Recon takes it out. But the Soiled Abomination lives, folks. The Soiled Abomination lives. It's sitting at 1 HP. We got a mech. We got a mech on the field, folks. All right. 24 units to 34 units now. All Sasha has to do, Sasha just has to hold the lead. That's all she's got to do. She's got to prevent her properties from being captured, hold the lead. But can she do it? Can she successfully complete the mission? Putting a flippin' Soiled Abomination on an HQ, that could potentially solve the mission. That could be it, folks. That could be it. That's going to be very difficult for anything to take out. So, holy macaroni and cheese, folks. Have you ever seen a damage calculator this big in your entire life? Because I haven't. I have not seen one this big. All right. So, yeah. Just for instance here, folks, you can see how large this is. You're going to be able to do 37 to 43% damage to the Soiled Abomination. You're taking that back in counterattack. So, yeah, that's pretty big. Pretty big, pretty massive. And now we got ourselves a problem. Problem solved. All right. Here we go, folks. Carrying on with the game. And it's gone. It's gone. It's out of here. There goes the infantry. All right. So the battlecopters are going to be absolutely essential in taking out this Neo tank, because unfortunately our poor classy boy is not going to be able to go and do it while it's sitting on an HQ, because that's just not going to happen. But the battlecopters, they'll be able to tickle it to death. Essentially. Death by 1,000 pokes. That's what we got going on. Now, what did the artillery attack? The artillery attacked the tank. Nice. I like it. So, BestMike could just go and attack the flippin', the black boat and get all excited, but he's not doing that. He's taking out the units. He wants the win, folks. He wants the win. He activates the flippin' super co-power. Oh my god. Oh my god, he activates the super co-power, folks. It's oh my god, it's gonna be doing so much damage. It did so much damage. We can't even see how much damage it did, but it absolutely did that damage. All right. Holy macaroni and cheese, folks. Holy macaroni and cheese. 116,200 value, 27 units to 74,200. That Black Storm was the nail in the coffin. Azuryle has resigned the game. And that is it. That is it, folks. We're going to go back to this now. As you can see here. What an absolutely crazy game between these two. Very back and forth. A little bit back and forth. You know what? I thought for a moment maybe Sasha had it, But then they built a Soiled Abomination, and it was the nail in the coffin. There's nothing you can do to come back from that. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? Just fantastic between the two of these guys. This one was submitted by the BestMike, so thank you very much for the submission. Fun game to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hopefully you all did too. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, folks. I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.